TUDUM.
So Netflix has a fandom event. I actually thought it was TUDUM. TUDUM, yeah.
Oh.
And then I was watching and they were like, welcome to TUDUM. Oh, TUDUM.
TUDUM sounds better.
TUDUM. One Piece Season 2. They just wrapped filming in South Africa.
He's reading.
He's reading,
I was
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
But then as the show went on, it even became like a joke.
It became a joke. Like, they were like joking about the fact that they were reading from a teleprompter.
Netflix wasn't going to let us show you an exclusive first look of the film. In fact, the studio hasn't even approved its release.
But we make our own decisions. So it says on the teleprompter.
The one actress was holding glasses because she didn't want to put them on.
But right now, at TUDUM, we need to trust you, the audience. I need to borrow those glasses, Tim.
Yeah.
And it's like, I trusted Matt Damon would
shave
shave the
his
beard
beard.
before TUDUM, but that's where you're wrong. He didn't say
Okay,
that.
yeah, he didn't say that. That's the one.
He didn't say that though.
That part, I think, was my favorite part of the whole event.
That was cool.
Finished, and that's where,
Where you're wrong.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin was like, and that's where you're wrong. And I'm gonna have all the actors join me on stage.
And that's where you're wrong.
Because I'm not in the stage, I'm in the audience.
Mila Kunis.
Yes.
Yes.
Nothing cooler than a t-shirt gun, and then Jeremy Renner's like, and that's. But then he burst out laughing.
Yeah, he like couldn't contain
couldn't hold
himself.
himself.
The crowd was just too much.
And then he was like, and that's where you're wrong. There is something cooler than a t-shirt gun. It's two
two
t-shirt
t-shirt
guns.
guns.
I think Will's is turning into that thing. I'm telling you now. Will.
Why is he saying run? And then he's not running.
Exactly.
That's where you're wrong.
TUDUM.
TUDUM.
I don't think you did it right. It's more like.
I even faded.
No, it doesn't. It's not that long. It's like. TUDUM.
No. The fade out was too soon.
No, it's not
There's
long.
more fade out.
It's not long.
TUDUM.
What?
It fades.
I actually thought it was TUDUM. TUDUM, yeah.
Oh.
And then I was watching and they were like, welcome to TUDUM. I was like, oh, TUDUM. TUDUM.
TUDUM sounds better.
TUDUM. It's got more of like a bounce to it.
TUDUM.
No, like, think about it. You just opened Netflix, right? TUDUM.
This is too fast though. My gosh. Here.
Anyway.
Let's hear the real one.
The real one. That's how you do it, people. So you're probably like, what on God's green earth are those two doing? Even though we're both wearing green.
What are we to do?
This is the movie show, first of all. My
Yes.
name is Sash.
And I'm Tabo.
And we are going to be discussing the TUDUM event that just happened. TUDUM 2025.
The craziest.
Yeah, so that's actually a thing,
Event
by the
of the
way.
week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
Netflix, everyone knows Netflix, yes. Netflix has a fandom event for all of the fans in the world where they announce what's happening with shows, when new seasons are coming out, when the release dates of certain shows, new films that they're bringing out, all of that.
Yes.
And that event is called TUDUM. Yeah. So Netflix is crazy. Netflix is crazy. So what did Netflix do, Tabo? What was
did
the
Netflix
first
do?
thing when Netflix came out? What did they do?
Netflix did seize.
And
And
they killed
they killed
satellite TV. They killed live
TV.
television, right?
Yes.
No one wanted to watch live nothing. No one wanted ads. No one wanted. You wanted to go on to Doom, not to Doom. You wanted to do. You wanted to go on Netflix and you wanted to choose what you wanted to watch, and like it became Netflix and chill became a thing. There was the whole binge watching became a thing because of Netflix.
Yes.
Like the whole anxiety of like I'm scrolling
gosh.
what's it called? Like when you have too many choices, like all of that became a thing, right? Because of Netflix. Now what is Netflix doing?
Now Netflix is doing live TV.
Is doing live TV. So the first time I saw it was in December 2025. They did
2025.
2024.
I was like, wow.
I made 2024. They did the NFL,
National
ladies and
Football
gentlemen.
League, right?
The NFL, I don't know. The NFL probably.
Also don't know.
They broadcasted the NFL live on Netflix.
Massive.
But like full on live television production. Like they had the like they do all the
pre-match interviews.
Yeah, like
Yes,
everything. Then they got stars from Netflix to come on and like do
Damn,
little ads.
that's
and
cool.
it was like Netflix has literally not only built a film industry, but they destroyed live television and then took it over.
They basically said to live TV, we can do better than you.
We can do better.
In your own game.
So TUDUM has been happening for many, many years, but this year they decided to live stream it on Netflix.
Yes.
And now you can actually go watch it. So if you have a Netflix account, you can go on, search TUDUM, and then you'll see you can watch the whole thing. It's about just under 2 hours, but it was really, really cool. I think what Netflix is doing is very smart.
Yeah. I actually watched the trailer first. Saw the trailer on Saturday. And I was like, damn. This is cool.
I had it in my calendar. I don't know where I saw it.
How do you see these things?
I don't know. I think I just follow those type of people, places on Instagram. And I was like, and then I went and then I wanted to watch it live, but we live in South Africa. It was at 2 a.m. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, not gonna.
So yeah, I just watched it after the fact, but it was really cool. Yeah. So
bunch of cool stuff there.
Bunch of cool stuff. Number 1, Squid Game season 3 is coming out at the end of June. I'm screaming. I actually Tabo hasn't watched Squid Game.
I am also screaming because now I have to watch season 1 and 2 before the end of June.
And season 2 ended, the way season 2 ended. Mm-hmm. But you know when you like, I even saw someone post on Instagram, they were like, I've never wanted to not watch the season. Like, you know how normally when a new season comes out, you're like, yeah! This one, you're just like, you're like dreading. That, like, I think they use that terminology, they're dreading season 3. Because you're just like,
oh my gosh. Is it going to get worse, basically?
And I can't say anything because he had what.
No, please.
So yeah, season 3. But it was really cool to see like the cast members came out and there was a shame. There was a little bit of a teleprompter issue. It looked like, which is quite nerve-wracking, especially when you have to speak English, which isn't your home language, and then you have to read English from a teleprompter. But
with the live audience just looking at you like,
the live audience is like. Yeah, but they did for a live event. They did very well. They did the whole production was really good. And then I liked how you can see how everything's scripted though. Obviously, like the whole thing is scripted from beginning to end. And it's funny how even you see these actors, they're reading from a teleprompter and they're not even hiding it.
I did not expect that because like at first, when particularly when the first Squid Game cast member, I sort of saw him struggling. Then I'm like, wait.
Speaking of friends, we have brought a few of our from Korea. Give it up for Park Sung-hoon.
He's reading.
I
was like, what?
Yeah.
But then as the show went on, it even became like a joke.
It became a joke. Like they were like joking about the fact that they were reading from a teleprompter. It was very funny.
It's too far.
It's too far. Or like, the one actress was holding glasses because she didn't want to put them on. She was like, ah. Then eventually Ben Affleck was like, I think I need your glasses. Then he takes the glasses.
They put them on.
A rib is something you pull from a crime scene.
In this case, cash. Tons of it.
Which leads our characters to the question.
But right now, at TUDUM, we need to trust you, the audience. I need to borrow those glasses, Tim.
And then my favorite was when Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, there's a new film that they've acted in together. I'm not sure if they've produced it or directed it, but they've acted the rip. And then at one point they were like, what?
Netflix wasn't going to let us show you an exclusive first look of the film. In fact, the studio hasn't even approved its release.
But we make our own decisions. So it says on the teleprompter.
What? The studios didn't want us to release anything. Or so the teleprompter says, like...
yes.
like,
like spoilers and stuff.
Yeah, like they were acting like you guys are getting the first look, like this wasn't planned. We're going against the studios. But that's what the teleprompter is telling us to say. Yeah, so that was really cool.
But there were some obviously like improv moments, one or two.
Yeah.
Where even Ben Affleck teased Matt Damon because they were talking about the whole thing of like trusting someone.
Yeah.
And it's like I trusted Matt Damon would shave the beard before TUDUM, but
I trusted Matt would shave the beard before TUDUM, and here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that was improv, or do you think that was there?
No, I mean.
It could have been there. Because you think of, like, like Saturday Night Live, like that type of television where they have to come up with jokes and stuff on the spot.
Yeah.
Because like they're doing shows. So I don't know. It could have been, or it could have just been them.
As a guideline.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're friends. They're like quite close. And
Yeah.
they've been close for a while now. So you can expect that.
I think the way they started it was really cool. So I don't know if you know this. Sophia Carson was the host.
Yes.
Now she was in Purple Hearts. She just did a movie called The Life List. She did. I remember watching this. It was a movie back in the day. I think it was her first Netflix film where she was a dancer. She wanted to get onto, I think it was Broadway, and but she was horrible, and she was like.
In the movie.
Yeah, in the movie she was horrible. Then she has to go back home, like her life falls apart. But then like everything obviously works out. But they used her as she was the host, and then the way they started it was she went through different scenes from the films that she's been in. So like she had the life list, now she had like a Netflix list. And then she went into Carry On, where she was the girlfriend. You know that? Did you watch that film? You didn't watch that film? No. Where Taron Egerton had to save, there was a bomb at the airport. Yeah, so that was her other film. But she did a good job. I thought she hosted very well.
Even that one, so there's like a list. Is it like sort of like a bucket list or what?
Yeah,
like,
so the movie, there's a life list.
And then like literally she went through like different, so the first one was I think dancing. Oh yes, okay. Now I get it.
And then she's acted in a film
and
where
she
danced, yeah.
And then there's Save the World.
Yes.
And then the Save the World one, she opens a suitcase.
Yes.
Then you see the hat from One Piece.
Yes. You see the mask from Squid Game, and you see the Hellfire Club.
From Things.
Yeah,
Eddie.
that was cool.
Broski.
That was cool.
That was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope.
So she did a very good job. And then also I thought what was funny was at one point they spoke about the MCU, and then they were like, but there is also the SCU, which is the Sophia Carson universe, which is basically like she's done 4 Netflix films, and now the 5th one is coming out, I think, on August 1st.
She mentioned it.
Yeah, and she's also an executive producer on this one, and that is cool. The name of the project, I think it was something to do with Oxford, but it's about 2 poets, from what I got.
2 poets.
Yeah, it sounds like there's 2 poets. My Oxford year, that's what the film is called. Yeah, so that's coming out.
And then she even had that guy from Bridgerton.
Yeah, from Queen Charlotte.
Yes.
And then she was like, unfortunately, he can't make it because, he's in the UK, and then he showed up.
That's where you're wrong. He didn't say that.
Okay, yeah, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that though.
That part, I think, was my favorite part of the whole event. That was
cool.
Finished.
That was
so basically what happened was...
All right.
You have the Knives Out... The Knives Out film series, yeah. So it's part of that. And then you had the director. He came out. No, you had Sophia Carson ask him about like something in the program, and then
Backstage.
he turns around and goes, and that's where you're wrong. And then he's like, I don't know what he said. I can't remember what he said. So anyway, he's talking. And then who took over from him? Josh Brolin.
Josh
Brolin was like, and that's where you're wrong. Except he wasn't acting. I felt like Josh Brolin.
He was like himself.
No, he was even like, he was just like, that's where
like
you're
low key.
wrong.
Like, it was so low key.
Yeah, it was like,
I was like, this is so Thanos.
Yeah, no, it was, shame. And then he's like, and I'm going to have all the actors join me on stage. And
that's where you're wrong.
Because I'm not in the stage, I'm in the audience.
Mila Kunis.
Yes. And then she's like, there's nothing cooler. She had a t-shirt gun. I want a t-shirt gun. She's like, there's nothing cooler than a t-shirt gun. And then Jeremy Renner came. I screamed. When Jeremy Renner came out, I was just like, ah! And he was like, and that's... But then he burst out laughing.
Yeah, he like couldn't contain himself. The crowd was just... too much.
And then he was like, that's where you're wrong. There is something cooler than a t-shirt gun. It's 2 t-shirt
t-shirt guns.
And then who was next?
And then it was that guy. What's his name again?
I don't remember.
He was on stage also. I forgot what he said.
But he said, and that's where you're wrong. But he said something. And then they were like, and Daniel Craig couldn't make it.
Oh, yes.
Not bold. And that's where you're wrong. Daniel Craig shows up. Yeah, no. So that was pretty cool. I'm excited for that film. So it's basically the third film in the Knives Out
series.
Yeah, it's not a series though. It's a film. Yeah. So it's a Knives Out story. But the trailer.
Yeah, it's insane.
The whole like.
It's insane.
The trailer looks so nice. I'm excited for that movie. And did you see that the guy? Where do we know him from? I know him from The Crown. He played the young version of Prince Charles. But I think he wasn't there. I don't know if he's the cast member that dies, because there's always a murder at the start of those films, and then they have to try and figure it out. Yeah, that was
cool.
very cool.
That director is on, man.
No, he is.
He's a very intelligent mind.
That's where you're wrong.
Oh, shade.
No, he is really good.
What did you think of the young adults section?
I am a fan, and I'm ashamed to say this, of what's it called? My Life with the Walter Boys.
Okay, I'm also ashamed.
And all the girls in the room went.
Oh my gosh, literally.
No, when they said that, I was like, ah! Yeah, and then, yeah. Outer Banks, yeah. I watched the first season.
When do you guys watch these things, bro? Like these? What?
Like since 20, like.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
It happens over the years. Okay. I don't know forever, and I haven't watched Ginny and Georgia.
Yes,
I haven't watched that, but yeah, that was the young adult section. And then, oh my God, did you see the guy from I don't know who he is, but shame, he has aged in years. But Backstreet Boys, there was a Backstreet Boy.
Oh yes,
there.
that came on and sang.
This
with
is cool.
Sophia.
So basically Netflix, right? So they do different things. Like even the wrestling on Monday nights, that was weird for me.
That felt out of place.
That was very
I'm
weird.
a wrestling fan, hardcore one. But even now I was like, CM Punk, what are you doing here, bro?
You could see they were acting.
You don't belong here, bro. Oh my gosh.
But then another thing, so for example, like Love is Blind, they have a lot of like reality TV shows. What they're doing though is they're bringing out, it's a reality TV show where it's kind of like Love is Blind, but for bands.
Oh, yes.
It's very cool.
Yes.
So what happens is you have a whole lot of different musicians, and you have to, it's called Choose Your Band.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see the person, you just hear them sing or perform or whatever, and then you can select if you want them in your band or not. So you have to like build a band. And then there's different judges, and one of the judges was actually Liam Payne, the late Liam Payne.
Yes.
He obviously passed away, but he was the One Direction, he was part of One Direction. And I was quite interested to know that he was actually a judge for that. So that's a new series that's coming out, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. And then One Piece, I never got into One Piece, but like you can see the fans, like there's a serious
hardcore
fan base there with One Piece, the Straw Hats. Yeah.
Normally with like things like this, especially like action remakes, normally if it's bad, fans aren't scared to come out and say
it's bad.
This is bad. So the fact that fans are like watching this thing
and they like
and they actually think it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it means that it's been done well. I know I felt the same about the new Avatar, The Last Airbender. I was quite impressed by the way they did
serious?
it. Yeah. And I was disappointed that they didn't come out and give us new release dates.
For that.
It's okay.
I suppose they can only release so much. Also, One Piece season 2, I was like, oh, that's cool. They just wrapped filming in South Africa.
They were here.
They were here.
They were here.
They were legit.
They didn't tell us.
They didn't tell us.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we would have been fans if we knew. But anyway, and then the Frankenstein movie, that looks pretty cool with Oscar Isaac. Director, he was the director of The Shape of Water, Pinocchio. He's like almost like Tim Burton-ish from like a monster's perspective. Yeah. But yeah, that film does look pretty cool. Yeah. And Jacob Elordi, that's how you pronounce his surname. I think he plays Frankenstein because he said like he's really keen. He wasn't there, that he sent a video in. Yeah. But in the trailer, you watch Oscar Isaac's character creates this obviously Frankenstein, but then they don't show the actual, but look pretty good. I mean, and also as the director spoke, it sounded like he said he's been wanting to make this film since he was young. Yeah. So it's a passion project. Yeah. I liked how they got the two directors there. Yeah. In a way, if you don't know what TUDUM is, it's like Comic Con for Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's like when they're basically giving you what's going to come up, who's acting in what, like that type of, And then Stranger Things. So, it's the final season of Stranger Things. And I think what they've done is so smart because I am having a Stranger Things themed New Year's Eve party. I'm doing it.
For real?
Why?
That is
because
no.
Part 1 of season 5 is being released on the 26th of November, 2 days before my birthday.
Okay.
Part 2 is coming out on Christmas.
Damn.
And the final episode is on New Year's Eve. It just makes sense.
Insane.
It just makes sense.
Insane.
It just makes sense. Yeah, it looks crazy.
No, it does.
I think Will is turning into that thing. I'm telling you now. Will.
Why is he saying run? And then he's not running.
Exactly. I'm like, Will. Yeah, no shame. It's going to be hectic.
I say they need to. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Let me not spoil.
They need to?
They need to resurrect one.
Eddie.
And then one must fight that thing.
Oh, one. They need to resurrect one. As in like Henry, what is his? One is Vecna.
Yes.
Why are they resurrecting Vecna?
Because 11 can't fight that thing by herself. There's no way. I see something. I see what you're doing.
Do you think Max is going to make it?
No.
You don't?
I don't think she's gonna make it. Personally, I think there has to be a death.
There has to be a death.
Yes.
Someone has to die.
And they will do that thing that they did in Batman, where they put so close to next to thing is the siblings' grave. They put there also. I just
Next
see
to
it.
Billy.
I just see that shot. I don't know why. I just see that shot. I promise you. I saw.
How cool was it though to see the behind the scenes of like
yeah.
Max?
They actually showed like their favorite scenes.
Yeah. And it was pretty cool.
Nice,
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah, no, very excited. And then Wednesday season 2, the first 6 minutes, they showed 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Or-
I was even like,
I don't know if it was the first 6 minutes, but they
it
showed
was.
6 minutes.
I was even like, damn. This is not a sneak peek. This is like this is a peak.
season 2. Yeah, Lady Gaga's going to be in it. I don't know how I feel about her performance. It was very it was very dark. It was very, and it wasn't even like evil dark. It was like I felt like I was watching a witch on stage. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The dancers were in very good
I like how they did
synchronization.
I like how they did the shoulder thing with the guys.
Yes,
it
yes,
reminded
yes.
me of Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And I like that they brought the dance from the actual the dance she did. But I don't like the song. So the song that it went viral with was the one that said, "I'm gonna throw my hands in the air like Jesus can."
Oh,
and then I
yes,
was just like, because Lady Gaga is
Bloody
very
Mary.
blasphemous. Yeah, I was just like, but they didn't use it in the film. That wasn't that wasn't the song they used in the series. Sorry, that was the trend that happened on social media and yeah, no, but it was very cool. Squid Game, even the trailer, I'm just like, because it looks like the front man and the player.
No. It looks
456 from the trailer.
It's not a spoiler. Our
'Cause-
crew's freaking out.
So when they get to the end, the 2 last players wear suits, and you see the front man and him both wearing a suit. So I'm just like, yeah,
Word.
yeah.
Hopefully they go the other way. As in like what you expect. But we'll
I'm
see.
very scared. But
We'll
anyway, that was TUDUM 2025.
Yes.
Solid event. Very cool. Go Netflix. Yeah. And I'm excited for what's coming up. But I'm also amazed. Netflix is amazing.
No. They are proper.
They-
the way they do stuff. Even the country inclusion, right? It's amazing.
And you know how Netflix started?
No.
With 2 guys in a car on their way to work. They got an idea. They turned the car around, and it started with them. They would deliver. You know, I used to rent DVDs.
Yes.
They would deliver the DVDs to people's houses. That's how Netflix started.
Damn.
So maybe just on your way to work, you'll be like, "Wait a minute, I have an idea.
And then you
Tell
turn
let's
back.
not go to work. Let's go
Yeah.
check if we can. How much it will cost for us
If
to
they
deliver
if they
this?
didn't turn back,
We wouldn't have
TUDUM.
TUDUM. This has been the movie show. Until next week. Peace.
Peace.
The end.